Hey everyone, it's Tracy here with my shaker card tutorial. I'm going to be using some WPlus9 stamps along with Simon Says stamp. So first I chose the paper pad from My Mind's Eye, and I'm going to use this denim looking one along with a yellow polka dotted paper that I'm going to use on the inside of my shaker card. So I have the Circle Spellbinders dies, and I'm just going to trim my denim paper down to fit my A2 size card base, and I'm taking the largest circle die and then the next size down, and I'm going to be using the largest one to cut a hole or a circle into the denim paper. And also I'm going to be cutting the largest circle out of the yellow polka dotted paper, which I'm doing right now. So that's the background for my shaker card part. And I'm going to use the same size die and cut a piece of acetate. You can also use like the clear packaging materials. It works the same way, so that way you can recycle those. And then I like to put this through once and then once again, because since the acetate is so thin, it takes a little bit to cut it. Or you could use a shim if you wanted. And then I'm going to use the largest one more time to cut out my foam piece. And that's just so there's a little bit of dimension so that the sequins can shake inside the card. So I'm also going to run that through twice. And then for the foam piece, you want to use the next size circle down, and you're just going to line that up right in the middle of the circle, and then I use a piece of just Scotch tape or washi tape to tape that into place so it doesn't move when you're putting it through your Cuttlebug. Alright, so this is the shaker card part, and then I take my Tombow Mono Multi-Glue and just run that along the foam part, and then put that right onto my pattern paper. And you want to make sure that's glued down, and I was in a hurry, but if you have time, you want to let this dry completely, because right now I'm going to be sticking my sequins in there, and if they accidentally move, they might get stuck onto the glue. So if you do have time, you want to let them sit. These are sequins from Pretty Pink Posh. I have the hearts, and then I have some white, smaller sequins, I think it's 5mm, and then some clear 6mm sequins. Okay, so then I put more glue on the top, and then apply my acetate onto that, and now I set this aside, and I actually set something on top of it so that it dried, because the glue was making it want to curve a little bit. So I'm just going to set that aside and let it dry completely. So now this is what I was talking about before. I'm going to cut the circle into my denim piece, and I'm actually not using the largest one. I'm using 2 sizes smaller than that. And this is because you don't want the foam part showing through your card front, so you want to make sure that it's a smaller size. Okay, so now I have the Fresh Cut Florals dies and stamps from WPlus9. And this is a piece of white Coordinations 110-pound cardstock, and I'm just cutting that out twice, running it through my Cuttlebug. And this is one when you're cutting with the 110-pound cardstock, you want to make sure that there's a shim in there or run it through twice, because some of them were a little tricky to get out of the die. And like I said, I just ran that through twice. I'm not going to use all of the flowers. I'm just going to kind of stamp whichever ones I want, and then I can always save them for later. So it works really well to just cut out a whole bunch of them ahead of time and then stamp them, and you can always use them on your later projects. Okay, so I have a variety of Hero Art Shadow inks and Simon Says stamp inks, and it took me quite a while to stamp these, so I'm actually just going to cut ahead after I show you how to stamp a couple, because it took me quite a while to stamp all these to decide which colors and everything I wanted. I'm sure it doesn't take everyone else that long, but I was just having fun playing with all of the colors that I could mix and match and make my own flowers out of. So that color is from Hero Arts, and it is the, I'm not sure what it's called, but I will link to that. Okay, so I have this tiered banners die from Simon Says Stamp, and then the coordinating stamp set. So these stamps are kind of cool because they're already curved, so it fits right onto that die since it's the curved banner. That way you don't have to curve it and then try to get it to match up or anything. It fits perfectly. And this one says, "Hope your day is awesome." I thought this would be a great Mother's Day card since that is coming up quick, especially with the flowers and everything. Okay, so now my shaker card part is dried, so I'm going to add just a little bit of the Tombow glue right around the circle. It doesn't have to be perfect because you have quite a bit of area to work with there when you're gluing it down. So you just want to make sure that that's stuck completely, and then you're going to flip it over, and then you add foam squares to each of the corners and around there. And this is because the part that has the shaker card part is already like popped up, so it's pretty much like its own big foam square. So you want to make the rest of it match up to that height. And then I like to take my ATG gun and just add a bit of adhesive to the back of that. So now you can lay that down onto your card front. And now I'm just going to add all of my flowers. I'm just going to arrange them in different ways. And the way I added it, I should have probably arranged it to begin with because I don't really like the way it turned out, even though, I mean, it looks fine because it's a bouquet, but you might just want to kind of play with them before gluing them down, which is kind of what I learned the hard way because they don't come back up once they're glued with the Tombow Mono Multi Glue. So then I also decided I was going to add one of the flowers towards the top. So there's a big bouquet at the bottom and then one single flower on the top. And as you can tell, I didn't use all of the flowers that I had stamped up. Like I said, I'm going to save them for another project that I will make in the future. And then I'm going to go ahead and adhere the banner right over like the shaker part and kind of onto the flowers. And then I took some of the smaller white sequins and I just added a few of those onto the card front using my Mono Multi Glue to attach those down. And then my last finishing touch is that I took my Winged Stella pen, and this one is in gold, but it looks, I don't know, it looks clear to me, but I think it's gold. And I'm just adding those onto some of the flower parts, like the centers and stuff. Alright, and then my camera battery died, but here's the still image of my completed card. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so that you can get all my future videos, and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Have a good night. Bye.